So Cancer, your week beginning the 6th of October forecast. Recently there's been a big emphasis on a lot of strands that you have an instinctive understanding of. That's your home, emotion, family, protectiveness, nurture. The host of the Sun, but also the thinking planet Mercury, Libra, is about balance, equilibrium and harmony. If any of those areas haven't felt in harmony, or there's been some discordant stuff going on, it may have felt quite unsettling. Also Mercury in the 4th house, although it likes being in the sign of Libra because it helps it to articulate ideas, actually 4th house Mercury position can see us circulating our thinking but find it much more difficult to express it. And at the very start of this week, Mercury is challenged by Saturn and also the Moon in a conjunction. They're priming up as you enter this week a sense of wanting to liberate yourself from anything that feels confining. And Mercury's move into Scorpio later on Monday, shares your water triplicity, is certainly the start of a different energy that's going to develop as this month goes on. It's more playful. It can be brilliant to express talents, flair and skills, but also on Tuesday we do have the full moon. So if you have been feeling rather preoccupied with your inner world, there may be some demands in your outer world that need to be attended to over the next couple of weeks. And you may also find that your emotions are much closer to the surface. If you're a particularly private Cancer, that can be something that can prove a little challenging. But Jupiter, the planet of plenty, but also the planet that's been with you since early June and is exalted in your sign, is encouraging you to get in touch with your soul purpose. But that hasn't always been easy because since it moved, it's been challenged by the restrictive vibe of Saturn in the part of your scope to do with expectations, traditional expectations, particularly professionally. But on Wednesday, Jupiter forges a stunning alliance to Venus. Don't underestimate the value of your ideas, your words, but also how you express them, because tone is important and your language can have a huge impact on someone you encounter. Maybe it could be a flirty moment. Maybe it could be someone through business. If you have got a particular pitch or business idea that you're really inspired by, that's an exciting combination. But it has to be very realistic because later this week, with Venus going face to face with Saturn, if you do need to write a business plan, submit some kind of proposal, do a presentation, it may be that whatever you say is going to be scrutinized in a much more stringent way. But very, very ironically, by the end of this week, Jupiter and Saturn, the aforementioned two that were in conflict in early June and broadly over the last year and a half when Jupiter and Saturn were in different signs, they actually start to align in the second half of this month in a way which can be very favourable for you. But most of all, if you're doing something that does meet that soul purpose. So if you do meet some roadblocks or obstacles this week in terms of people not quite getting where you are in your inner world, or you're working in an environment that atmospherically doesn't work for you, perhaps it's not the right fit, don't underestimate what you can do in the rest of October that sees you taking a much greater and firmer grip on your life direction. But if you are going through that phase where you have felt rather tender, do know, particularly on Wednesday, there could be some very reassuring exchanges. If you've yet to watch your year 2026 deep dive forecast, please see the link beneath this video. Also, check out my special offer for your personal forecast for next year. You can get the rest of this year free, 30% off your life roadmap report as well, which gives searing insights. You'll also get my free gifts of love, general, Vedic Indian and Chinese forecasts for the coming year. Please see the link below for more.